What up, everybody? In episode 204 of Raising Kanan, we are about to be introduced to the Italian mob. So, this is another similarity that this show, Raising Kanan, has to one of my all-time favorite movies in history, New Jack City, with Wesley Snipes, there's Nino Brown, G Money and the crew. See, we already see that Rock got that idea from Symphony. As he was explaining to her about the projects and how the rich people initially wanted it because they could look down on everybody, and how she got the idea to set up an entire project building as just like Nino Brown did the Carter in the movie New Jack City. So if you've heard me already refer to the project building that Rock traps out of with her crew as the Carter, and you don't know New Jack City, that's where I got that from. So we already see the similarity there with the Carter and whatever building it is that, whatever project building it is that Rock traps out of. But this was a theme back in, this is not necessarily biting off these, this is another movie or whatever. This is a theme that we saw back in the late 80s, early 90s. I mean, project buildings just being turned into traps like that. So that's what they were doing. That's what, especially in that area, New York or whatever, that's what they were doing in that time. So, and then of course in that time also the mob was a dominant crime figure in New York City as well. So we have those figures, and we had definitely New Jack City had some of the greatest shootout scenes. You had the wedding scene, the wedding shootout scene when they put the hit on Nino Brown, and he was able to escape using a child as a shield, which really set that snitch off, played by Ice-T. I don't remember his name, I just called him the Snitch because I didn't like that character in that movie. Of course, Nino Brown being my guy. So we have the similar characters. We have Rock could be considered a Nino Brown figure. Unique could also before he fell off, could have been considered a Nino Brown type figure. But definitely Rock is the Nino Brown of this show because she's the one setting up the project buildings and banking the money, taking over, the initial one to have the idea in that city. So she would be considered the Nino Brown of this show. But then we had the other scene, which is my favorite scene from New Jack City, is where they do the drive-by on the Italian mob from the motorcycle. Oh my god, that's one of the craziest scenes in any movie ever. So we're gonna see, and we know how New Jack City plays out. That undercover cop ends up getting enough information or whatever. G Money falls off. He starts using his own product, and it sets Nino Brown up for failure. Nino Brown also was a little distracted with some things of his own. But it makes you kind of wonder, who's the G Money of Raising Kanan? Is it Lou? Is it Marvin? Because one of them might fall off and start using their own product and start slipping, like we've seen in so many other movies like New Jack City or American Gangster, movies placed around New York City. So we're going to be introduced to the Italian mob, and this might be the beginning of a beef, and this might be the end of Worrell. Is this going to be Worrell's death? And this is another thing before I get off here. We might see the last of Worrell on Raising Kanan. Might be. They do show a scene but then again, they show him getting jacked. If he was really going to die in this episode, they might not play it all the way to they show him getting held up anyway. So he's at least gonna be getting held up by the Italian mob. So he's not had a good stand since he's joined Rock's crew. He's already got called up by Unique, his former boss, and that made Rock and them make him go put him at gunpoint and go through the door first with their whole situation with Unique. Now we're going to see him getting held up by what it looks to be the Italian mob. If it's not the Italian mob, it's the cops. So, but I don't think it's the cops. I think it's the Italian mob. They said, because we've got the scene where Lou says if they come for us, they're going to come for all of us. He's either talking about the Italian mob or he's talking about the cops, the feds, whoever, somebody snitching. Might be an inside man. I do expect one of these guys to be a snitch though. I'm suspicious of the guy they got. I don't know his name. The guy they got setting up in charge of the New Jersey projects where they're about to run into the issues with the Italians. I'm suspect about the guy they've got putting over in charge of that area. So keep an eye on him. I don't know the character's name. They only put him in there the last episode for a brief scene. But we probably will see him again because he's the dude they put in charge of the New Jersey projects that they're just starting to work out of. Keep an eye on him to be a snitch. Alright, and that's it. That's all I gotta say. The Italian mob introduced in this next episode could be the start of a new beef between Rock. This could be because Unique's kind of fallen off as her enemy now. He said he just wants peace. So he's gonna be in the background. I don't see him snitching to that female cop, but nonetheless, he's gonna be in the background. He's still on the show. He ain't going nowhere. But now we have a new antagonist coming on as the Italian mob boss, as a new beef. And they handle business a whole nother way than you're gonna see then you start Unique handling business.